Right, hello and welcome. I go by the name of Sweets. This is my channel. The reason I'm starting YouTube is because I wanted to give a perspective and make a difference and just have conversations in the world that are like needed, really. And I don't know if it's just going to be a case of like me speaking or what the channel is going to evolve into, but it is basically to make a difference. Like, that's all I want to do, is make a difference. I'm not seeking like, I want to reach as many people as possible, but it's not like I want to become some YouTube star or anything like that, or like fame for myself or anything. I just literally want to have real conversations about life and make a difference in people's life. I was just going to make this video an intro video, but a few people, well, I asked people what they wanted me to speak about on my channel, and I had quite a few messages back saying they want me to speak on mental health. So I'm going to do that today, but it's a bit of a difficult one because it's such a like big, broad subject, like just to speak on mental health. I was expecting I was going to get a little question. I'm going through this. What's your view on like a similar thing or relation? Like, it's like saying let's speak about relationships. It's like I can't just have a video about relationships. But yeah. So mental health. I didn't want to do a video on mental health, being totally honest, at this moment in time, because I think it's a thing that's out there a lot and it's being used a lot. And I think a lot of people are going through issues, especially with, you know, social media and the effect that it's having on us now. But I think a lot of people are using it to boost what they're doing, or using it for the attention, if that makes sense. So like, not necessarily caring that much, but wanting to speak on it. Myself, how I've been affected by mental health. Since the age of 4, my dad's passed away a few years ago, but since the age of 4, my dad suffered from mental health and was classed as schizophrenic and had been sectioned, and that was the reason as to why my family broke down, if that makes sense. So the reason as to why my dad was no longer a family unit was due to the issues with mental health. So I can almost say that mental health broke a home in that sense. It's been difficult for me, like, just, I think the hardest part of it had been is that like now everyone's speaking about mental health, but they haven't been speaking about mental health for years. So it was like a dirty secret of mine that my dad was schizophrenic, and like having, you know, you see people on the roadside with like mental health issues and people make fun of them and calling people schizophrenic, and like when even people just saying, oh, you're mad or you're crazy or whatever, like it was hard for me. Like, I didn't even, I guess I was a teenager till I even like told friends and things or what, but it was like literally people only knew if they needed to know. I wasn't like openly saying that because it just wasn't the time or space for that, and it wasn't really relatable, and I didn't have anybody like out there who I felt that, you know, could relate to my situation. And I think that that's the issue, and kind of the reason why I want to make this YouTube channel is because not enough people are having real conversations. So when people are going through stuff, they feel like they're the only person going through a situation, when there's like probably in a local vicinity of like 100 people that they know, there's gonna be a good proportion of people who have similar issues. Like, we all kind of want to be in this world, like my world and my family and everything is perfect, and, you know, try and keep up something. But majority of families are like going through issues, and mental health is one of them. And the brain is an amazing thing and is capable of so much, but it doesn't surprise me that, you know, mental health is a thing. And you've got to think, even me having a conversation, like if you have a conversation or dialogue with, like me just moving my hands, it's all to do with the brain. Like if we have a conversation, I don't know what we're going to speak about or where the conversation is going to go, but I think of the next word, I deliver the next word, I'm able to just do everything. It's all the brain. So there being a chemical imbalance or it not functioning right or functioning correctly, it doesn't surprise me. Like, it really doesn't. And I think sometimes it's a temporary thing, and one of my gripes with mental health is medication. And it's been medication for years, because the dosage of what my dad was prescribed, and the reason, like, I lost my dad to, I can't say I lost my dad to mental health, I feel as though I lost my dad to medication. Because once it completely changes a human being, and my dad was part of, I don't know all of the technical terminology for everything and whatever, but it was electric shock treatment. Like, they shock the front end of the brain, and it's like a ridiculous thing to do. And my dad he just got wrapped up in that, and I think that's why I lost my dad to mental health. And from the age of 4 up until when he passed away, he suffered from mental health throughout that time, from when I was 4 until I was like 29. And it was like heartbreaking to see. And you know, he's been the only person in my life who's like properly shown me unconditional love, has, you know, always been there for me, and was a beautiful soul and a beautiful person, but was just lost. And medication is a big issue. And you know, if I went to my doctor today and I said to them, "Oh, doctor, feeling really down, you know, I've not been feeling motivated to get out of bed, and you know, I just feel really like just down," and you know, I might get prescribed to go on antidepressants. And it could have just been like my diet, or I could have just needed a conversation with somebody to speak about, you know, the lifestyle that I'm living on, or you know, the past, or social media, or anything. But there's the conversations aren't had. It's like the first thing is just like, yeah, put you on a low dosage medication, and we might hide the medication. And you know, if you've got extreme, like a mental health case, and if it's extreme behaviours, then it's going to be stronger medication. And then once you get wrapped up in that, it's really difficult to get out of it. And there's only like a few people, once they're on like high dosage of medication, that get out of it, because you become dependent on that medication. And then without it, you're lost in your, am I normal, am I not normal? Then you've got all your insecurities when you meet people. Are they thinking I'm crazy? Are they thinking I'm mad and stuff and whatever? And we all have this voice in my head, and it's something we don't speak, like, people don't speak about the voice in our head. So like, I'm having a conversation with you over YouTube, you're like speaking about the conversation I'm having with you wherever you are, whether you're looking on your phone or you're on the other side of a computer, but you're having a conversation with yourself about the conversation I'm having with you. Or I'm totally uninterested and you're speaking about how's a big man like that got a yellow bed, or talking about my plant or something, I don't know. But yeah, we have a conversation with ourselves, and sometimes the conversation we're having with ourselves isn't the right conversation, or we're not saying the right things or thinking the right things, or you know, we might be a bit paranoid or whatever. But a thing I have issue with a lot is medication. And myself, that's kind of saying like how I was affected by mental health. And up until 2 years ago, I was kind of a person that was like, anything that affected me bad and stuff and whatever, I just kind of just cracked on and get on and just ignored things in life. And I was like, la 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 la. But 2 years ago, I got into the darkest place, and I couldn't put my finger onto what it was that got me there, but I just got into the darkest place in life I've ever been. And this is probably going to be the first time I've said it, because I think depression is such a deep thing, and I think sometimes it's used too lightly. So I never ever really say that I was depressed, but I was depressed, and I had suicidal thoughts, but they weren't suicidal thoughts as in I was feeling I wanted to kill myself. It was a case of like, I don't want to be here anymore. What's the point in life? Is just long, and life is just, it's a stressful thing. And squirrels, yeah, animals, but squirrels like one of my favorite because their life just looks turned up, but they haven't got no worries. Like, all you have to do is, what are your worries? What am I going to eat today? Where is safe for me? What's all the dangers that I need to stay away from? Looking after your family, building your house or your home, and that's it. Like that, it's just basic things that you have to worry about. But us as human beings, like, we've got so much things and so much, like, life is hard. Like, life is difficult. Even if you have an easy life, it's still difficult. You've got to go through the whole process of like learning language, and then, you know, going through education, and then, you know, there's money and earning money, and, you know, where do you fit into the system, becoming successful, like just pressure, non-stop pressure. And again, I'm not surprised that there's mental health because of these reasons. Like, I'm not surprised at all. But yeah, I was in a really dark place, and for myself, I think it was to do with social media. For myself, I think it was to do with me being stagnant. And the thing that got me out of that hole was self-development and self-improvement. And I'm not saying that this applies or works for everyone, but I think we get so trapped up in social media and doing so much stuff in our life that is not beneficial at all. Watching series, watching TV, watching